Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Asteroid Fight Club. I am your planetary defense commander, Star-Lord New Thor 7, the T. And we got about a week left for Congress, the Republicans, the House, Senate, the Democrats, President, to agree what to do about the 31 million people who have gone unemployed recently due to the plague. And everybody else in our country and the countries around us. We have 7 days before 31 million of those people lose their safety net that has carried them through a time where everything has been shut down. And what happened is Saturn entered Capricorn in 2017. And I don't know if you remember 2017, but that was a wild, wild, wild hurricane season. And Saturn went on to enter Aquarius at the end of 2019 and 2020. But due to retrograde motions, it has gone back into Capricorn. And so we have been watching all the signs to see what type of a hurricane season we're going to get. And so here we are, July 24th, 2020. And we've got Tropical Storm Hannah happening in the Gulf of Mexico. And she is pretty large. You could call her one giant pulsing system if you wanted to hear. This all looks interconnected. Like this would be one feature. This is a whole nother feature. This is our monsoonal Mexican volcanic steam Quetzalcoatl feature. And then we've got the big beast. You gotta give things nicknames, and this thing has been nicknamed the Big Beast. Like this is Gonzalo. It is a tropical storm as well. So we got TS here. We got TS here. And we have the best Taylor Swift album created, as far as I know, my opinion. You can check it out now. It's on the internets. I recommend listening to it like an album fashion because albums can be like religion. So listen to it front to back. Pour yourself a glass of wine. Smoke them if you got them. But I want to tell people this is 2020. So you can have Taylor Swift and hurricanes at the same time. You don't have to choose between the two. Although I do not choose landfalling hurricanes. But if you could only put attention on one thing, we're in Schrodinger's cat situation now. Did I say that well? So the ocean conveyor belt is on. And as your planetary defense commander, I want to say that it's weird how unwell the world, and especially America, has worked together to deal with the plague. And so we have not handled basic conditions in that circumstance. And now we may have a conveyor belt a la 2017 or possibly 2005 type hurricane season where we're getting hit by, doesn't matter what you name them, let's look at them in wind damage and water dropped during short amounts of time. Plus the volcanoes and steamy stuff that is happening all around. And we have Saturn and Jupiter lining up in our sky as we speak, and they will be on top of each other doing the big dance December 21st, 2020, which is technically 8 years from that weird Mayan end of the back tune calendar from the 13 to the back to the 0, or is it the 1? I don't even know. Schrodinger's cat, assume both, I guess. Latest in space. Your mind-numbing reminder that there's a giant swirling vortex at Saturn's North Pole larger than the U.S. So yeah, it's a big planetary dance, man. Ma'am. We all own this together. 2020 is a big solar system event. I mean, look at this. I want you to soak in all the things that are happening. It's like our solar system is one body. And so it all works together as everything spins around in magical motion we call life. I mean, how crazy is it that we're spinning around a star? And there are planets and stars spinning around us. That's pretty wild. But I expect things to get wilder as we refine balance together. So yeah, we got a sunspot that's coming around. And so this sunspot even kind of gives me a 2017 vibe. But think of how much smarter, cooler, and stronger and wiser you are now. So I've suggested looking at 2020 through 2022 as like we are all in graduate school in Space Force together. We're going to make it through. But there's going to be nothing but big battles and wild, crazy shit happening constantly, pretty much every day for the rest of the year and the next 2 years. So be ready, stay aware, stay cool, and we're going to need to work together. If the pandemic didn't convince us we got to work together, all these hurricanes and tropical storms and Taylor Swift are probably going to convince us. And I'm okay with that. Teamwork, bitches. All right, now let me segue to my unofficial partner in weather crime prevention, Cranky Weather Guy. Best weather man on the planet, monsoon has been pounding away across Mexico's Sierra Madre. We don't need no stinging badges. Up into the desert, southwest U.S. return flow high, and the tropical cyclone teaming up on the Gulf Coast again. Monsoon taps into the plains and approaching Canadian troths. Strong, repetitive circuit. And that may be another way to say pulse. Or maybe I made it the less smart way. I don't know, but we're definitely getting the pulse. And remember, Beetlejuice started dimming for no reason, so the universe and our own planet is a wild and crazy thing we really don't understand too much of, but we do know that the Gulf and the monsoonal areas are going to be besieged with a whole lot of moisture, probably lightning, wind, and cool clouds, possibly tornadoes. But the tornadoes are mostly way up north or in Canada or like the New Yorkian, New England area, and the Dakotas and the Minnesotas and the Illinois and stuff. What was I talking about? Welcome back, monsoon. And think of how many years we've had to learn from other generations before us to learn about the weather and all things around. So none of this stuff is surprising us, really. It's all been in the playbook. And excellent photograph, Mr. Jim Tang. Astronauts love him. So we got like Hannah, and how bad and big will Hannah be? We will check that out. We are checking that out. Gonzalo likely dies in the Caribbean. I don't know. Not all the models are convinced, and watch everything pulse up together. Andy. Definitely need to watch the wave coming off now. And everybody's been talking about the wave for like 10 days. This wave is a monster. That is a monster. You could fit like 4 Gonzalos and 1 Hannah in this one. And so we've got this that is still growing and headed west. We've got this, which is still headed west and keeping a pretty compact, I'm a tough guy core. And then we have the beast. Plus, we've got Douglas, at least half of him in this photograph, which looks about the size of whatever the beast is going to be. I think Isaias is the name. Isaias of the eye hurricane storm tropical thingy. So yeah, it is Game of Thrones, Endgame, Infinity War, pandemic, plague, Civil War. We have all these problems that we got to solve by the end of the year. And the best Bill Murray as Dumbledore, Hogwarts, Earth strong fashion possible. And I see the light at the end of the tunnel, but these battles are going to be big and super frequent. We got a solar storm that is punching on through, geomagnetic unrest likely today. Interplanetary magnetic field around Earth is tipping, the BZ tipping, baby. Opening a crack in the Earth's magnetic field again, just in time for a slow-moving coronal mass ejection, which is expected to arrive and feels like it's arriving. Plus, Steve's been showing up. Steve's awesome. I love Steve. Comet Neowise has been visiting Earth. This is one of the coolest comets I've ever experienced, but yeah, I've gotten a chance to see it with my own eyes. But everybody's photographs from all around the world have been amazing. And I definitely think the politicians should be working together with the people to figure out how to get through the next 6 months and should extend those unemployment benefits. Love will find a way to take us all to better days. I gotta warn you. I cried during my first listen of the Taylor Swift album Folklore, but if you've been with me all year, you've known that I haven't had a whole lot of time to process or grieve all the death and things that have happened in 2020. So thank you for that, Taylor. Tay. Papakataypel. It's a volcano. These are knocked loose in clouds. And look at that donut shit. Look at that, like glaze super glazed frosted. It's like glazed and frosted. Oh my God. And cold. At times, I've been having trouble being super eloquent, but I've been talking about Hannah for quite a while. And yeah, we've been full red alerted on this thing. Like, everybody be ready because she's going big. She's going backwards, it seems, while going forward slowly. Schrodinger's cat vibes. While growing big, big, and bigger. And that the size that she hits us at will be probably in one of those pulse cycles that Cranky was referring to. Wait, what did he call them? I forget. Really an impressive process. No, that wasn't what we called them, but repetition. So you got two giant Azores high. I guess this is a Pazores high or Hawaii high. Pick your own high, man. Okay, but the storms are like rotating. So Douglas, it's like Category 3, Category 4 hurricane right now, is going to be pushed into Hawaii by this giant high. Remember, the volcanoes are going off over here, down here, and the earthquakes are happening up here. Okay, and then this Azores high is going to be pushing all the storms kind of up here into this zone and this zone. So that's what we're dealing with, and it is an impressive process, absolutely. But he had said our wild high pressure configurations continue to dominate, and for Asteroid Fight Club, I'd like everybody to watch Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid and then try and figure out how at the end they could have stayed alive. Our wild high pressure configurations continue to dominate. Yeah, those two pressure systems are like, whoa, and look at that, dude. That almost looks, I mean, that looks almost like a bowl. That looks almost like the asteroid of Oumuamua. Remember what was like a long cylinder shaft? This is almost like a blobby thingy. All right, no, I'm not talking so great. Gulf surge has been above norms for some time with the return flow around the ridge. The system itself doesn't add much to the equation yet. And right now we're talking about marine interests dealing with and possibly seeing rough surf, 8 to 12 foot waves reaching the shore with possibility for overperforming. This thing is definitely going to produce hurricane rain in some spots. We have slowly watched the orange spots and then the new yellow continue to grow south and west. And this is a Gulf soaking event down from Mexico, down through South Texas, all the way up through Texas, Louisiana, into Mississippi, parts of Alabama, and even gets into Florida. This is a big giant storm, man. Regardless of its official National Hurricane Weather Service designation, this thing is giant. I mean, and it's in like two parts. You have the giant golden mean spinning endless triangle in the middle, and then you have the thing down here. And so like it's an entire event. It's technically going down into the big beast that's coming off Africa. And so how nasty is she going to get? I don't know, but she's definitely putting on a show. And as things are pulsing up, so please pay attention and be prepared. There's a whole lot happening now, and it all seems to be waking up at once and interconnected. And so having major hurricanes or flood situations hitting people as unemployment benefits run out for them and their families would just be the biggest bungle since the invasion of Iraq, possibly, in my opinion. And look at the size of that monster rolling off Africa. Plus, look at the size of Hannah. Plus, look at Scrappy Doo little Gonzalo down here. And then on the other side, you got Douglas. So there is a whole lot of happening here. What it all is totally, I'm not 100% clear. Who look more glitches, bitches. So we got all the forces battling. The good guys, the bad guys, people, Mother Nature, robots, artificial intelligences, simulations, life, real life, analog life, avatar life. I think, people are probably tired of fighting. But look at that, dude. There's so much happening right now, and I'm honored to be your planetary defense commander. And I do not think the world is going to end on my watch, but we definitely need a whole lot more teamwork now. Hey, the new romantics are still alive, but shit is dangerous and X-many, AFRN. So stay cool, and I'll be keeping you guys posted with these video thingies that I do for you. All right, God bless you. Stay cool.